Welcome to the third mission in my playthrough series on the historical scripted campaign Steelbirds, which covers the operation of Fw-190 ground attack units during the fighting in early 43 at the Kuban Theater of Operations. The name of the mission is Operation Neptune, and it covers the first initial actions during the German counterattack against the bridgehead. You can see it in the map. In early February, the forces of the 18th Soviet Army have landed south of Novorossiysk with the aim to basically roll up the German front from the south, while the main forces of the 56th Army would be pushing around Krymskaya sector. The landing was able to contain by the German forces, and the plan for the Operation Neptune was to basically throw the Soviet forces into the sea, optimize the front, basically relieving the German troops which were positioned here, and be able so to reinforce the other position along the front. The attack started on the 17th of April, and actually I think the briefing discussed it, that they apparently were briefed on the 16th that the operation was going to start. It's going to be the 5th Gebirgs-Division and 125th Infantry Division of the 4th Armeekorps. The 1st Fliegerkorps would provide close air support. It says the weather was so-so during the day, thick fog and down. I think it's very historical, but nevertheless, after some postponement, the ground operations have started, and there was, huge support from the bombers of the Luftwaffe, and I mentioned Stukas here. Interestingly, this mission is set on the next day, April 18th, but this briefing basically reflects on the experience of the pilot, where they effectively were flying, multiple sorties during the day. Which is very historical. I mean, if you look at the distance very close, so we're able to bring in a lot of sorties to the enemy. Our Staffel managed to make 5 sorties. Yeah, that makes sense. And also the fact that infantry has made negligible progress. That's very historical. The quality of the troops in the bridgehead was high. There was also units of the Black Sea Fleet, basically Marines, Marine infantry, faced with the odds of obviously nowhere to retreat, the Soviet troops were fighting tooth and nail, and then obviously the Soviets started to use a lot of air assets, specifically in the following days, to basically protect the ground troops from the German air attacks, but also counterattack and actually bomb quite successfully, both with various bombers, but also ground attackers such as Il-2s, the staging areas of the German ground troops. So we're taking off from Anapa. The targets are the artillery positions, which are located on the other side of Myskhako Bay, and which are basically, supporting ground troops with their fire. It mentioned that some of the Focke-Wulfs was damaged by the anti-aircraft fire the day before, so the attacking force is reduced, so we're only flying 6 Focke-Wulfs, which also would be historical. With that pace of operations, it was very hard to maintain all the units in operational state, but we're getting direct fighter cover by 2nd Gruppe of Jagdgeschwader number 3, 8 109s G4s, which is also very historical, 250 bombs this time, which is, I guess, is sufficient for soft target station artillery. 1.5K, speedy approach. Yeah, take off, go to the target, bomb the shit out of the artillery, and go back. And our escort fighters hopefully will take care of any Soviet Air Forces fighters in their air. Okay, so with further ado, let's get into the mission. Welcome to the third mission. The first mission as part of Operation Neptune. And we're again at Anapa, early morning, 18th of April. Here goes our escort.
109s. Okay, here goes the first plane so far. Okay, Falke Rakete. Airborne. Flaps up. There's no wingman. Reducing 2400 combat. I'm trying to get to the first 4 planes to form up. Yeah, I can see the bridgehead ahead, heavy fighting indicated by smoke. Okay, we got to 1.5k. The leading focal formation at our 1 o'clock. Reducing to 2000 RPM. And taking up position on the right side. The sun is brutal in the air. Yeah, look, this mission specifically highlights the size of the theater of operations, how quickly you can get from the airfield to the enemy lines. I mean, it's effectively 7:10 was takeoff and it's 7:16 now. We're already approaching the combat zone. So the ground attackers on both sides were flying multiple sorties per day, 4, 5, 6, you know, take off, bomb, go back, refuel, rearm, go again. The Soviet Air Force acted very actively during the Operation Neptune attack on the bridgehead. They flew a lot of bombing missions and disrupted the, you know, staging areas of the attacking German ground troops, disrupting a couple of times effective attacks. Okay, this 109's on top of us, and there's some contacts ahead. I guess these are the enemies they're gonna be mixing up with. Can't ID. Oh, anywho. Not nice to fly with a fighter cover. Yes, you have fighting. Despite the relative small size of bridgehead, the Soviets held it quite effectively, and they mostly were supplying across the bay during the night with small boats, bring out the wounded, bringing new personnel, ammunition, food. There you go. Their commuter left is full swing. This is very reminiscent of historical accounts of Kuban. Continuous air battle, on par with the ground. Okay, going back to the combat power. Close the last gap to the leading element. The artillery would be on the other side on the boat, and that small village called Kabardinka. It's also one of the main logistics spots to supply the bridgehead, and obviously Gelendzhik being the main air force base. Or oh, that's not great. Since we got intercepted. Good head on, AI, well done. Now let me try this trick. Oh, some good hits on that guy. Ah, shit, looks like I love fives. To help out that guy, maximum power. Here we go, he missed the turn. I think he blacked out and dead. Okay, gonna drop that bomb and then attack. Go back and help the guys. Ah shit, quite a heavy flak here. 6 looks clear so far. And going in. Ah, heavy G's. Hello, RT. Boom. Okay, of 88. Combat there, gonna get altitude to the side and try to help our guys. This will be suicide to go in a strafing run alone there, just to be a larger formation to distract the AA. Okay, reducing to combat bar so I don't cook my engine. Again, talking to the distances, the bay behind me is Gelendzhik Bay, and that was, as I said before, one of the main airfields for the Soviet Air Force, mostly containing the units of the Black Sea Fleet. Ah, shit. Here we go. Somebody's actually... hit at least some MG hits on that one. That's not a great position to be. See his friend show up. That's 109, that's good. Slightly low. Yeah, trying to know hit on the wing. Yeah, he's on fire. Yeah, usually somebody will start screaming Horrido in the radio at this point in time. Thank you, 109. And here's the splash. There seems to be some air combat there. The stuff below looks Russian. Looks 109, so he's going to be attacking that guy. Whoa! Some minor hits, but the P-39, probably one of the more dangerous planes in the hands of very experienced pilots here, because obviously armament very strong, 37mm cannon, and as an American-made plane, it can dive after the German planes, so the usual escape tactics, the so-called Abschwung, doesn't work. Not the smartest things to follow him beyond the enemy lines, but hey, I think I want to get the kill. Gebirgs-Division. And another VVS plane on fire. Beautiful effects, especially with the backdrop of the early morning sun. And here goes the shoot. Okay, I think it's time to go home. So what normally would happen in such situation, judging by the documents from the actual Schlachtgeschwader, is that firstly that was quite seldom when the formation were actually intercepted by Soviet fighters. It seems that most of the time the main enemy was the ground fire. Secondly, usually you would have some separation between the main formation and kind of top cover, so the Focke-Wulfs would fly their own top cover, but everybody would be armed with bombs. And the task of the top cover was basically to disrupt the enemy attack and allow the main force to push through. And that could be, quote unquote, easily achieved by Focke-Wulfs just going into shallow dive and accelerating to their targets. Interestingly, the top cover, as I said, would both carry the bombs and not drop the bombs at the instance where any would be spotted, but actually they would, try to fight them with the bombs and then make their own escape toward the target to also deliver the bombs. And then by that time, the other Focke-Wulfs would release their ammunition and potentially be able to support them. So the focus was really much on the ground attack. So, the fact that kind of Focke-Wulfs engage into combat was a bit ahistorical, but it made for a fun setting. And that's probably how that could have happened in reality. Mixed formation takes off, the 109s are getting engaged by one formation, but the numerical superiority of the Soviet Air Force is obviously high, and then the formation of the Yak bombers gets intercepted when we're approaching closer to the target. Interesting, there's a column of something moving down the road. I think there was a train there. That's cool. as a tunnel, not the train. But you can see the Wehrmacht trucks down there. It's pretty cool. Nothing following me, so all good. But I have no clue where the rest of the Staffel is. Did miss the waypoint there, but whatever. I like also a cool detail when you give a command that, you know, you fire a flare. So yeah, I mean, we took it. The start of the mission was at 7:10. It's now basically 7:32. Look how much action do we have. And yeah, we're back to Anapa effectively now. These formation planes behind me, probably the Focke-Wulfs, I hope. While it's before, I'm just gonna drop in. I wanna wait for the AI and other stuff to come up. Coming up on 109, that's Jagdgeschwader 3. Yeah, you see the heavy anti-aircraft batteries at Anapa, which was very historical, but still didn't stop Soviets attacking it multiple times. But I'm pretty sure during the war they didn't turn their lights on for landing. Flared out a bit wrongly here, but it's okay. Well, that was the end of the third mission of the Steelbird campaign. It was quick and fun, but I think reflected quite well on the period. Well, I got 3, so they counted that head-on for me, and I did destroy 2 cannons with my bombs, so at least partly fulfilled the main mission. Very sunny. Well, don't forget to put down your comments and feedback. Always appreciate that, so I can reflect it in the upcoming videos. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, and we see each other very soon, hopefully, for the next mission in this playthrough series, historical scripted campaign Steelbirds, covering the action of the Fw-190 JABOs over the Kuban bridgehead in early 43. Thank you, guys.